JJ the CPA here. I want to talk to you about work comp insurance. And I think you will find that it's different from state to state, but the concept, I believe, is the same everywhere, which is this. Work comp insurance, work compensation, it's not necessarily AFLAC, at least not in Oklahoma. AFLAC is, or the equivalent, is something that an individual would get, and if they got injured, it would, help cover bills, etc. So work comp insurance is similar in the sense that if you get injured, this is though when you get injured on the job. And so many times when somebody gets injured on the job, they go to the doctor, and if it's some kind of injury that's obvious that it was, could be a workplace injury, so to speak, slip and fall, typically that organization or the medical entity that you're going to is going to ask you if it was job related. Also, health insurance companies are sometimes known to follow up and ask if this is job related. And then if it is, it's not that your health insurance isn't going to cover it per se, but they are then going to want to seek out the insurance company, if available, that's with the employer to cover those costs. So the important thing is that if you have a job-related injury, you want to indicate that when you go to get medical treatment. If for some reason you are in a situation where you've been injured on the job, then you also are in a situation that your time off, you should receive some compensation from that. So for whatever reason, there seems to be an impression that if an employee gets injured on the job, that if they're doing a work comp claim, that they're doing something that they shouldn't. And I have some experience in the work comp industry, and that's really not the case. I mean, I think the reason I'm bringing up the health insurance is to indicate that these things, in essence, work with each other in the sense that if you become injured, there's insurance to cover your medical costs. There is insurance with work compensation insurance to cover surgeries. It's to cover the time off. Now, I don't ever think you're going to make as much as what you would make when you're working, and there are some limits to that. But employers have been brainwashed, in my opinion, say that lightly, to thinking that if a employee of theirs claims some work comp insurance or contacts work comp company, which is required to be furnished by the employer, that employee is some kind of evil, terrible person. And the insurance companies seem to have brainwashed the employers that, your rates are going to go up. So, this is an insurance in Oklahoma that's required to be carried by employers on employees, and it depends on what they're doing and the risk and the amount of pay on what the premium's going to cost. But at the end of the day, that's why you have the insurance, employers. And if you know exactly what I'm talking about, you very well may be an employer like me. I've never had it happen yet, but if you have a employee injured, that you are telling them, hey, boom, go make a claim here, and this is why we have the insurance, so that your employee's taken care of. Because there's a threat that a rate would go up, which I don't necessarily think that's potentially the case, is not a reason that you shouldn't allow your employee to benefit from the insurance that you're providing. So I'm just saying that because at least in Oklahoma, I'm not even kidding, like 80% of the employers freak out and are mad, and I even hear story after story where they let go of that employee, which is just shameful. This employee's been on the job for the employer, gets injured, and I'm not talking about the frivolous stuff here, right? Gets injured on the job for the employer, and then the employer's mad that they're making a claim. The employer's mad that they want to somehow, get paid while they're off, while they're injured, and the employer's mad because they think the rates are going to go up. So it's just a miseducation, or that's not even a word, lack of education on this. So I'll have more videos on this. Feel free to comment on it. It might be different from state to state, and love to gain some knowledge on this if there is some differences outside of Oklahoma. All right, hey, you've never met a CPA quite like me.
Well, here's the bottom line. You need to subscribe to my videos, right? I've given you valuable information here. I appreciate you tuning in, but here's what I need you to do. A favor, click subscribe, check out my other videos, and then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.